And then finally, we get to the last song of this project, which is Empty Cup.
I tried to shun my intuition, pull from an empty cup.
Empty Cup is what I call my surrender song. It's like the ultimate act of letting go. I finally am ready to acknowledge that the way that I've been approaching life is not quite right, that my attempt to fill my cup with ambition and the pursuit of validation is not working. Eventually, I had to realize that there is kind of a binary track to the human experience. Like there are two different kinds of purposes that we each have to find balance between. On the one hand, part of the point of being alive is to evolve, and the way that you evolve is by consistently stepping out of your comfort zone. And in order to do that, you kind of do need to be in pursuit of achievement. So you do need to sort of have your eye on something that is out there and try and reach for it. Even though this achievement will not ultimately be the most deeply fulfilling thing once achieved, because as soon as you get there, you'll want to move the goalpost further and achieve a new thing, it is still worth pursuing. Like just because something is conditional and temporary does not mean that it has no value. On the other hand, there is another aspect of human nature, speaking for myself, that is never going to be fulfilled by achievement. The void, that part needs to be tended to as well, which is something I don't think the culture in which we live does a very good job at encouraging. And that is why possibly a lot of us feel deeply lonely, I think. And I think that's because the only solution our culture has to offer us when we feel dissatisfied is just more conditional and temporary forms of fulfillment. And so if you keep falling into that trap, the void just keeps growing more and more and more and more. It's a song about acknowledging that I am moving now into a new cycle of life, and in this new cycle of life, I need to tend to both of these aspects of my human nature. I need to balance them. They need to coexist. The challenge in this next cycle of life is going to be how to find balance between being an active member of the world without having my emotional stability depend on its feedback. How do I pursue things without expectation? How do I desire things without needing those desires to be fulfilled in order to be okay? That is really the jumping off point for my 30s. So we'll see how that goes. But of course, I'm going to turn 30 in like a super long time, like all the way in December. So it's like in forever.